boy, DiStep here. Today, I figured I'd show you guys what my setup is like, as well as what's inside my PC. It's not too serious at all, but I thought it'd be a neat thing to show on my channel, since I am practically still starting out. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, here we are. This is my setup. Like I said, it's nothing too overly serious, but it still is pretty fun to mess around in. On the left, you can see my TV, and on the right, you can see the rest of my stuff. Right there, you can see my Acer 21-inch LED backlit monitor, and down below that, you can see my SteelSeries Apex 100 keyboard, and alongside that, you can see my Razer Death Adder 3G or infrared mouse. And then on the right, you can see a little bit of it, my Razer Kraken Pro headset, and in the back, you can see my computer, which I'll be opening up now. Since I couldn't get a good visual on the faceplate of my case in the video, here's a picture of it instead. Originally it was all black with of course no stickers on it, but I decided right before I put the computer together that I'd truly make my own somehow, and figured, hey, I could do some sort of design on the front and really make it look neat. So, as you can see, I wound up painting the trim and the NZXT text on the bottom left a neon green, most similar to NVIDIA's green, as well as put NVIDIA's GeForce Glow logo in the middle, since I was going to put a NVIDIA graphics card in the build. I tried to do a clear coat paint over it all afterwards though, and I kind of messed that up to say the least, and sprayed too much on to the point to where it puddled up in some areas, and it wound up drying to make it look kind of splotchy. But I mean, after looking at it for a while, I started to like how it came out, like, for whatever reason, but I didn't do anything to the 5¼ inch base slots or to the rest of the case, since I didn't want to do too much to it in case I got a different case, or if I reached the point where it started to look like I did way too much and really made it look stupid. But besides that though, here's the rest of the PC. And voila! There is the inside of my PC, containing all of the parts that I blew a few $100s on. Well, roughly $730, but I threw away $50 on shipping to get all of the parts the day after I ordered them, so I paid nearly $780 in total. But, truthfully, it was worth every penny. You can see pretty much everything in this view besides one 2.5-inch laptop hard drive that I screwed in with one screw on the side of the 3.5-inch hard drive mount, or hard drive bracket mount, rather, or whatever that thing is on the right, which you'll see once I open up the other side panel. So, on the left you can see the hard drive, bottom left, as well as seeing the lovely nested power supply cables that I routed in an attempt to hide from being seen in the front, which it doesn't look bad from the front, but as you can see here it's kind of rough. But I gotta tell you though, it's a pain in the rump getting the side panel back on with those wires like that. I guess NZXT really didn't think that one through when designing the case. Aside from presenting all the parts and whatnot, I'll explain what each of them are and how much each thing ran me price-wise. I'm sure prices are going to fluctuate from the time that I post this video, and I know a couple parts already did, because a lot of the parts I just recently purchased back in late April of this year, but my case, the power supply, and the hard drive that I'm using, well, one of the hard drives I bought a couple of years ago and never really used them, so prices are certainly going to be different on them now than they were when I originally bought them. The case is the simplistic NZXT Source 210 non-elite version that I got refurbished on Newegg for $30. I actually bought this case back in late 2015 and never used it, since I wasn't able to buy the rest of the components for the original PC I planned to build, which was utter trash compared to the one I built back in late April. For the money though I paid for it and the overall quality of it, I was certainly impressed. The fact that the chassis is all metal with the exception of the faceplate being plastic is honestly astounding. And the only real downfall that I found was that the front I/O rather, only has two USB 2.0s and your typical headphone / microphone jack. It's a bit of a letdown in today's world where we're beginning to use USB Type-C ports and whatnot, but it's a small sacrifice to pay when you're using this case. The processor is the fairly new Kaby Lake Intel i5-7500, being a quad-core processor clocked at 3.4 GHz and having a boost clock of 3.8 GHz. It certainly does have quite the potential and provides for a smooth and seamless gaming experience when paired with a good graphics card. Costing about $200, it was certainly pricey, and having AMD's Ryzen 5 lineup coming out a couple of weeks before I bought it made me really ponder whether or not I should get it or test out Ryzen. But to avoid running into any problems with using components being released a few weeks ago, I decided to stick with the 7500, and I can say happily that I didn't make a mistake there. The graphics card is the MSI GeForce GTX 1060 Armor 3GB model, packing 1152 CUDA cores and being clocked at 1544 MHz with a boost clock of 1759 MHz. It certainly does pack a punch and deliver an absolutely stellar gaming experience at 1080p resolution as well as at 1440p resolution from what I've heard. I've pretty much ran every game I wanted to at variants of high to ultra settings seamlessly at 60 FPS, both while playing regularly and while recording gameplay using NVIDIA's handy GeForce Experience program, which you'll see in my videos. The only thing that I wish was better about the card is the amount of VRAM it has. There are 6GB variants of the 1060, and I know that, but at the price of $200 with a $20 rebate really making it $180 at the time, I couldn't get any other graphics card with that capability for that money. The RAM is a 8GB kit of G-Skill Ripjaws 5 series RAM clocked at 2400 MHz. As far as I know, there's nothing really special about the sticks other than the 6 heatsinks on them, but the price is fairly good at $65. I wish they were either white or black though, since the red throws the color of the build way off, but at the price and the reliability of G-Skill products, I ignored the color and went through with the purchase. The motherboard is the ASRock B250 Pro 4. Supporting the new Kaby Lake processor is allowing the usage of up to 64GB of RAM, rocking 2 M.2 sockets that support Intel's new Optane memory modules. Being a full ATX motherboard and only costing $75, I felt compelled to buy this motherboard. Yeah, the rear I/O is certainly lacking by only having 4 USB 3.0 Type A ports and 1 USB 3.0 Type C port. It might be a turnoff to some people, but it's enough to plug in your mouse, your keyboard, 2 more things of your choosing, which certainly is enough for me. The power supply is the EVGA 600W 80+ certified PSU. I got it refurbished for only $30, which this is the only part that I can honestly say I have a slight problem with. One of the PCI plugs that go into your graphics card is either busted or is too weak to power on my 1060, which freaked me out at first because I didn't know, and when I tried it the first time, it made the computer run a boot loop without a display, but powered on all the fans, making me think that either the GPU or motherboard was defective. But after trying the other PCIe plug, it turned on and stayed on rather than shutting down or rebooting every 10 seconds. Phew! Lastly, as storage goes, my main HDD/local disk is the Seagate Barracuda 1TB model, and I also have a 250GB laptop hard drive in there as well that I use to store pictures and junk that I don't use often. It's actually quite funny how I got the 1TB drive though. I originally purchased a 500GB hard drive for $25 on Amazon, but it was defective when I got it, so I tried to get a refund on it through the seller on Amazon, but he was nice enough to send me a new hard drive without even asking for the defective one, and lo and behold, he actually sent me a 1TB one instead. So, considering that I basically paid $25 for a 1TB drive back in early 2015, I actually got one hell of a deal. Plus, I still have the defective 500GB hard drive, so I may try to fix that later on, but we'll see about that. Alrighty, so that pretty much sums up this video. I really appreciate you for making it all the way to the end of the video if you watched it from the beginning, but regardless of whether you skipped around or not, thank you so much for watching it, period. I hope it came to be useful to some of you that maybe were looking into buying one or more of the same parts I did and wasn't sure about going through with it, or if you weren't sure what parts you were planning on buying. If you have any questions at all about anything, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to help you in any way I can as soon as possible. If you want to check out the parts I bought in more detail, I'll gladly leave links in the description for you so that you don't have to search around in hopes of finding the same models I bought. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.